Hi, my name is Ibrahim. I'm an entrepreneur, speaker, and a business coach. I was born in Kuwait in 1987 to a Jordanian Palestinian family who moved back in Jordan with nothing. I have a huge passion for cars, and that's why I studied mechanical engineering. Got a job right after graduation to work for Toyota for just 3 months, and then had a chance to move to the UAE. I was always looking to earn extra money during school days. So naturally, I went first to my parents and asked them for more money. Obviously, they said no. So I started running riots and also encouraging my siblings to support my cause in order for us to earn extra money. And again, the answer was no. And that pushed me to think outside the box and say, hey, what can I do in order for me to earn extra bucks while, still being at school? There's one thing that I was really enjoying, although obviously, I've been brought up in Jordan and our first language is Arabic, but I thought I knew something in English that at least the neighborhood didn't really, weren't at the same level. And from there, I started showing up and showing myself as this person who's actually expert in the English language. And people bought it, and I've moved from there to teaching private English lessons for students at my age, and sometimes even older than me. And that was really interesting because at this point I decided a rate for me per hour, and people were actually paying for their kids to be tutored in English language by another student. And I'm thinking about it now, it's crazy. That was pretty much my first experience with generating extra income during school days, and I would call that my first side hustle. But from there, I went to college to study mechanical engineering, just basically because I love cars, and I thought by studying mechanical engineering, I would learn something about cars. Obviously, there was nothing that teach you anything about cars during your 5-year study of mechanical engineering. So as I told you, I failed so many subjects in the university, and the first 2 or 3 years I spent them just looking for extra curriculum activities, nothing related to mechanical engineering whatsoever. But from there, I've learned so much about people skills. I was going into volunteering, I was going into events, I was going into seminars, communication skills, leadership. I went into emotional intelligence, all that kind of stuff. At that time, I didn't even understand the importance of some of them. I just wanted to maybe get away from calculus and physics. However, they've added so much to my personality. I've met so many interesting people. And then I get to build my other side hustles. I started writing for a magazine. I started writing for that student magazine. It was in Amman. I was living in Irbid, which is like a city in the north, but I made sure that I travel from one city to another once per month in order to write. And I was getting paid by the number of words. So I became the editor-in-chief for that student magazine. And at some point I was actually leading a team of maybe 30 students from all over the kingdom. It was pretty fun. I've learned so much again about leadership, do's and don'ts. And also was a really decent money at that time for me as a student. Apart from writing, I continued to also do some extra income through teaching, private tutoring. I continued my journey through side hustles during college. In addition to being editor-in-chief for that magazine, I've also continued to do private tutoring and some other like translation jobs, small jobs. And I was actually doing like about 3 different side hustles during my study time. At the last year of my mechanical engineering study, I wanted so bad to get to Mercedes-Benz in Jordan, the dealer, as an internship. and I've done an internship for about 6 months there. During these 6 months, it was a hands-on experience. So I had to change oil and filter, do maintenance work by myself, and do some diagnostic work as well. So all in the workshop. And I've enjoyed it so much because I didn't really expect that I would, but practically speaking, it was the only practical thing that I have done during my 5 years of study. What I'm gonna tell you today is that don't put a lot of weight into what do you study or the subject itself, because let's face it, there is not really a lot of practical knowledge that you can learn from university. So while you're still doing it, and if you have an option, if I had an option personally, I wouldn't really do it, but I can't say that it's something that very practical advice. So if you have still to go to university, do not just do that and stop anything else in your life. There is, whether it's 4 years or 5 years of your life, they're so precious. Do not just waste them into learning those textbooks and whatever, going into the college and attending lectures and just living your life. Use this time to learn people skills, to learn life skills, to invest in yourself. Put in the time, put in the effort. So by the time you graduate, you are at your competency level is 200, 300, 500% compared to your colleagues. When you are ready to go to the market, whether you want to start a small business after you graduate or you want to get into the workforce and get a job, you're gonna be the #1 option for these companies and corporates to hire you, compared to someone who's just fresh and has no experience whatsoever in any other life skill. So if there's only one thing you want to hear and listen from me today, is do this thing. Do not just focus 100% on your study during your 4 or 5 years. Try to learn other things. Try to engage yourself with something can stimulate your mind and brain. Do it and see how your life will change as you grow up.